do you plan to call President Trump?
I will be reaching out to the White House and as we prepare to actually take office, because this is a relationship that will be critical to the success of the.
I actually feel so sorry for Zohran Mamdani because he's got amazing policies, ambition for New York, and a really incredible set of values, but he is set up for failure because of the right-wing conservative psychopaths that he has to work with in federal government.
So you may have seen this already, but if you haven't, you're in for a treat. Zohran Mamdani was at some sort of Men's Day event, and he was kind of goaded into trying the bench press, and disaster ensues. So let's just look.
You move up in the pole! Yeah! This is how you move up in the polls! Yeah! Let's go. Yeah. Let me get one more. Let me get three. Yeah.
Oh man, this is not how you move up in the polls. This is such a nightmare. All the people recording, everybody screaming at him to do it. He still should not have let the pressure get to him, but I'm glad he did, because it's funny to laugh at him.
This wasn't a show that Donald Trump wanted to see, starring Zohran Mamdani and a supporting cast of Democrats who won electoral contests across the country.
You have dared to reach for something greater. Tonight, against all odds, we have grasped it.
Mamdani is the history boy.
The White House hasn't reached out to congratulate me. I continue to be interested in having a conversation with President Trump on the ways in which we could work together to serve New Yorkers, whether that be delivering on his campaign promises around cost of living, or the many issues that New Yorkers have been sharing with me about the drastic impacts that the legislation that President Trump has ushered through Washington will mean for them and their lives. Too often we understand these impacts solely at an individual level, but if we just speak a little bit more about SNAP benefits, these are not just affecting the close to 2 million New Yorkers.
I will be proactive in the work that I do, and I think that is because of the responsibility I hold to 8.5 million people of being their mayor. It is important that you are open to working with anyone, no matter what disagreements you may have. And I've said this when it pertains to President Trump, that President Trump wants to speak about lowering the cost of living or delivering cheaper groceries like he ran on. I'm there to have that conversation. The distinction will be that previous administrations have looked to have that conversation to the benefit of themselves and the expense of the people that we look to serve.
Understood, but do you plan to call President Trump?
I will be reaching out to the White House and as we prepare to actually take office, because this is a relationship that will be critical to the success of the city.
So it wasn't just a hypothetical scenario on our debate stage.
No.
You're actually going to call him. What will you say?
Well, I'll say that I'm here to work for the benefit of everyone that calls the city home, and that wherever there is a possibility for working together towards that end, I'm ready. And if it's to the expense of those New Yorkers, I will fight it.
After a very remarkable win by Zohran Mamdani as a New York mayor, well, it seems like Democrats are having it rough, swallowing the bitter truth that the pressure has really gotten into Zohran Mamdani when he confessed that he's going to call Donald Trump in order for him to collaborate with him and work with him towards making New York better. I have different suggestions or different opinions on this, and I know people may not like it, but hey, it came as a surprise because people thought that once you voted for a position to represent the people of New York, progressives, you should be nowhere close to Donald Trump. But there are different levels to this game, and as a politicians, you have to know how to trade carefully amongst your supporters and amongst the people in superior positions, especially if you want to change the lives of the people who voted for you. There are sacrifices you have to make, there are compromises you have to make, and this is exactly what Zohran Mamdani is doing, but that is making the Democrats really angry at him. But well, let's first go back to that video of Zohran Mamdani trying to lift weight. Let me me just say, he was absolutely doing nothing, bro. He wasn't lifting no shit, bro. And he couldn't even do more than 3. That is just how Zohran Mamdani easily succumbs to pressure. At least that is what Democrats think. But what I do think is that this is a person who is open to making the city better if he is a genuine person, because there is no way that he's gonna do the changes himself as a mayor, not even as a governor, as a mayor. There's no way he's gonna do those changes by himself. He needs that support from obviously the federal government and also from the president himself. There is no way he's gonna change New York by trying to be a rebellious politician or rebellious leader. He just has to succumb to some, and he has to make some compromises in order to get some benefits from Donald Trump or the president, which is not a good thing. It's not a must for a leader to lick a president so that they can get development or can get some things. But you know how the world rolls, you know how reality is. There are some things that they're just off the books you have to do in order for your people to get what you promised them. But hey, there is a lot to listen to, there is a lot to unpack, and I'm gonna urge you to stick around to the very end of the video so that you can hear my unsolicited commentary. Let's go.
Look at this. Look at this. So now he is saying that he is going to call President Trump because he's realizing that he's not going to get the funding that he needs for these big plans. He needs to actually be friends with President Trump if he actually wants to do some of the things that him and Trump can probably agree on, which is affordability. But not in the way that he has promised the American people that live in New York City, the 8 million Americans that live in New York City. So I can't even, somebody said, don't say Americans because apparently they're not even showing IDs to see who's voting. So we don't even know. So last week, this is what his energy was like toward Trump compared to what it sounds like now. And a lot of Democrats are saying, no, don't call Trump. Do this without him. Why are you calling him for? You don't need to call him. He hasn't called you. Keep the same energy, right? You want to go after ICE agents. Trump is sending the ICE agents. I mean, they've gone back and forth already on a few things, but Democrats do not want Zohran Mamdani to be kind or to call or to reach out. Many Democrats are very mad about this from what I've been reading in the comments. But let's look at what he sounded like when he won compared to what you just heard.
So Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up. Bad landlords to account, because the Donald Trumps of our city have grown far too comfortable taking advantage of their tenants.
So the Donald Trumps of the city have taken advantage. Donald Trump is the enemy. You heard it. You heard the people cheering. You heard the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America agenda that pretty much got him elected, right? All these college people, all these college kids, even people my age, 28 younger, 28 older, even though a lot of the people that voted for him aren't really even from New York City in the last 6 years. They didn't grow up in New York City like I did. But that's another conversation for another day. But you heard him. You heard the type of energy that he had. He told Donald Trump to turn it up. I'm not scared of you. He's been saying.
Well, the socialist revolution in New York City lasted about 5 minutes. Last week, Zohran Mamdani was crowned the new face of progressive politics. Confetti in the air, liberals crying, tears of joy, and everyone declaring the dawn of a new socialist era. But fast forward a few days, and reality hit them like a brick wall. Y'all like the video right here? Follow for more. And let's get right into it, because there is no revolution. Kathy Hochul and the state Democrats just stopped Mamdani cold. The man who promised free buses, higher taxes on the rich, and some Marxist utopia is learning the hard way that mayors don't control the state. He can't raise taxes. He can't fund his giveaways. He can't even get his own governor to return his calls. Oh, hell. Kathy Hochul publicly said no to his entire agenda. No tax hikes, no free buses, no socialist experiments. She said 1.5% of New Yorkers pay a third of the state's entire budget, and she's not going to chase them out with higher taxes. Translation: Mamdani's fantasy ends here. So the revolution turned into the same old story. Socialist politician lies to the voters, makes promises he can't keep, gets into office, and instantly hits a brick wall. He surrounded himself with unqualified DEI hires. He has zero experience running anything and now faces open rebellion from the very Democrats who helped him win. New York is about to relive the Bill de Blasio years, but worse. Businesses are already nervous. Investors are already eyeing Florida, and Mamdani is about to find out what every socialist mayor learns eventually. You can't spend what you don't have, and you can't govern what you don't understand. The bottom line, Mamdani's movement is over. The establishment stopped him before he could even start. He's a one-term mayor in the making, and his revolution just got crushed by his own party.
The sad thing about people who have sweet promises or sweet voices is that they most of the time do not act upon what they have promised. And this is exactly what I do think of Zohran Mamdani, at least. But I'm not saying that it's exclusively, at least. I do not believe that what he promised New Yorkers is going to happen, because I think he's chewed more than he can swallow. I don't think mayor has power to do all the things that he promised. And this is where now it comes to the voters, or it goes down to the voters. People need to understand how different positions do work. They need to know what are the powers of the president, what are the roles of the president, what are the roles of the governor, powers of the governor, powers of the mayor, roles of the mayor. If you know that these are not within the jurisdiction of this position, then don't vote towards that campaign agenda, even if they have articulated their points so well, even if their promises do make sense. But is it within their power, or how are they going to navigate within their roles in order to make a fruition out of that campaign promises that they are making? And that is exactly what should influence a voter into casting a vote in favor of a certain candidate. And people voting in Zohran Mamdani for those promises that he made, they were ridiculous to me. I would say most of them, because I knew clearly that this person cannot make all things happen, and especially after even calling out the president like that.
So, Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up.
How do you think he's going to pick up your call in order to work with you after saying that when you used his name in vain, to convince your voters, now you've gotten the position? You have to perform, you have to give the people what you promised. But in order to give them that what you promised, you have to consult with that person that you insulted. Do you think that is going to be easy, or do you think you just got privilege that you can just call on demand, say what you want, say what New Yorkers want, and then the president Donald Trump is just going to give it to you, retract ICE from there, allowing New York to be a sanctuary city, and all those good promises that he said, making rent affordable, things free, buses free, groceries to law? Do you think all those is just gonna happen after you've made a certain speech like that? That's gonna be difficult. And also, if you fail to deliver on your promise, do you think that your constituents or your people, or those people from the progressive side, are just gonna take it to say like, oh yeah, he really hit a dead end, or he really hit a wall because of course he's from a different party? Obviously they would have envisioned him. No, they don't want to hear that. They want to hear you make what they voted for come to their reality. If you have no capacity to do that, then you're gonna be a one-time mayor, just like the other guy said. And funny enough is that this is Zohran Mamdani's first actual job, and I'm curious how he's gonna perform, because it's very clear that he does not have experience. This is evident from the speech he gave after winning the mayoral race. That wasn't the speech to give. Actually, there are some things that he should have articulated it better in order for him, especially if he wants to make New York a better place. When he was to contact the governor, or when he was to contact President Donald Trump in order for him to work with them, it would have been easier. But right now, it means that he has to lick their shoes in order to get those favors, and that means going against the people that voted for him. This gives New Yorkers a lot of uncertainty because the situation is volatile. Will Mamdani sell out to the conservatives or the MAGA camp, or will he uphold the progressives' integrity? Will he uphold the ethics of the progressives, or will he at least make compromises for his people? At his position, do you think that he is capable of making things like buses free, groceries going down, making rent affordable? Or do you think he needs the support of other leaders like the governor and also the president? And do you think that the rich people in York are going to run away because they are going to be taxed more and his socialist policies? Do you think that is going to come to fruition, or will the New Yorkers get tired of him eventually? That is just one of those questions that people are gonna ask themselves when they are trying to understand. It seems like the Zohran Mamdani revolution is finally coming to an end. It's barely even 15 minutes of fame. It's like 5 seconds of fame. That is Zohran Mamdani for you. Do you think he's gonna survive? You guys let me know in the comment section down there below what you do think about this whole situation. I really saw that as a thing to discuss and an observation that I made. I really wanted us to discuss and, you know, share our opinions and thoughts about this whole situation. If you have different take on this, please don't be shy to share it in the comment section down there below. I encourage healthy debate in the channel. Please do so respectfully. Also, don't forget to go and check the creators that are featured in this video today. Go onto their TikToks, follow their accounts, like their videos, and for this particular upload, make sure you smash a hit thumbs up button. Consider subscribing to the channel, turn on post notification so that you may not miss my next upload. And with that, guys, let me meet you in the next one. Danny here, signing out. Peace.